I used to work in the sciences. I went to a science academy for high school, and I studied science in college, and that was like my thing. I worked in paleontology and entomology, wildlife rehab. I was a snake handler. That was really cool. I love snakes, and I rehabbed vultures, and I worked with cockroaches for a long time, like a lot of them for different species, like tons of species of cockroaches. And now I work with comedians, so it's not that different. Because we act like cockroaches. I know I really like them. I have them as pets. And I think keeping cockroaches as pets is like a good strategy to figure out who's cool to hang out with. Because when I tell someone, if I meet like a new person, I'm like, I keep cockroaches as pets. If they act like, they look at you like you're crazy, or if they act squeamish, it's like, this person's gonna suck. Like they're not gonna, they might not, I mean, even if they're a little scared, at least that's something. But if they just totally write you off from that moment on, it's like, good, you just did. It's like an interview process, having cockroaches. I highly recommend it. I like to take them out and put them on my lap and watch TV with them. I feel more comfortable with cockroaches than people. There are days where I'm like, I just want to go back in a laboratory and I didn't do experiments with them. I was just raising them, and I had leeches. I kept leeches. I kept like all kinds of weird things, mantises, leeches. And I think leeches are really cool looking, like they kind of float around. And I tried to get them to drink my blood because that was convenient. And I had to feed them, and I don't mind. I'm like, and I went, they wouldn't though. They wouldn't. I tried. I put them on my arm. So I had to go to a butcher, which is the only time I'm going to ever go to a butcher because I'm a vegetarian. And I went to the butcher. I'm like, I need liver. And he's like, oh, you're going to cook this up? I'm like, no, I'm feeding it to my pet leeches. And he just like kind of stared. And you could tell he's like considering, should I even sell this to her? Like he just wanted, I don't know if he wanted me out of there or what. And I just think it's funny. The leeches took one look at me, and even they were like, she doesn't have blood to spare. Like, we don't even know if she's alive. Like they'd rather eat the dead meat than me. It had more color in its cheeks. The dead cow parts, which is the only time I would be associated with dead cow parts. And I do like weird animals, and weird, whose definition of weird, but they're not domestic, whatever. Like I like, and I don't know. What else? I like paranormal stuff. I know, like this just screams normalcy. You thought I was going to sit here and talk about like The Gap or or something, or Lululemon or something, or I don't know. What are normal people into? I'm not really sure. I go to haunted houses. I rent haunted houses out for the weekend. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I saw an orb, it's a ghost. I'm very interested in theoretical physics and different science projects where they're trying to measure different forms of energy and trying to figure out if is these abnormalities in nature, these supernatural things, paranormal things, whatever. They're anomalies, you know? And I'm interested in that stuff. And I get weird looks. People are like, oh, of course, the goth chick, the weird looking chick, she's gonna like ghosts. She probably has crystals and she rubs them on people. Not that I judge people who do. I mean, like germs. Germs are microscopic. People used to judge people for the constellations, for believing in a round earth and things we can't see. So I'm like, well, maybe we can't see certain things, different dimensions, string theory, whatever. We're not all capable. We might have a sixth sense. I saw one. I read about this stuff. So I rent haunted houses out, and I like to go and just see. I just like to absorb it, and I just like the history, and I like to go in and see what happened at that house, if there was anything pleasant or very unpleasant. And I go to rock concerts. That's probably the most normal thing I do, I think. I go to a ton of rock concerts, and I've been very lucky. I've met a lot of, I don't want like this, like I was given like I was an old person in a rocking chair on a porch in the South. Like, let me tell you, I meet a lot of rock musicians, and that was cool. They're nice people. Comics are nice too. Just if you hang out with them too long, you start realizing we're all a little. I guess there's like a darkness to most comics. I don't know if I have that. I've been told I don't. Like there isn't. What you see is kind of what you get. I'm kind of like this all the time, except for when you put a camera in front of me for a minute. I'm like you have a gun to my head. I think I'd be more comfortable with a gun to my head. I'm not uncomfortable around firearms. Like I just try to immerse myself in things that are scary, so I'm not scared of anything. There's like nothing left. It's like just kill every last bit of feeling in me, so that if something really does get hard, I'm prepared. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. I don't know if it, I'm like, this is not my A material. If you come to a show of mine, I'm not going to be sitting here just airing out my gibberish. Is it gibberish? People have asked me how I got into comedy, and I've had other comics that are new starting out, and they're like, how can I be more relaxed on stage? How can I have more material? I'm like, well, get a time machine and have parents who pretty much don't want you and a whole bunch of other traumatic events and just be born really weird. Translucent helps. Anything that makes you stand out in a bad way, and just have a really traumatic childhood, and you're going to be like the best comic ever, or you're going to be a serial killer. There's really just no middle ground there. And thankfully for society, I became a comic because I think I'd be a really good serial killer. I'm not, don't worry, but I think I'd be good at it because I have the science mind. I don't know. I have a life-size Hannibal Lecter robot in my living room that I got for Christmas from a dear friend. And I kind of feel like when I'm angry, I'm like, we can relate. I'm like, I know. I see why you ate all those people. Because right now I'm dealing with people. And I won't eat like innocent animals. I won't eat them. But if it's a shitty person, I'm like, I'll eat that motherfucker. Like I'll put ketchup on that shit. I won't. But hey, it sounds funny. And it's nice to think about. Come on, who doesn't think about that now and then? So anyway, yeah, when I was growing up, I think that it primes you to be a good comic because you have to, it manifests somehow, like the pain. And I guess I'm not good at, I can't play an instrument. So it's like you could be a musician, write really soulful music, but I can't. So I get on stage and tell people my problems and they think I'm kidding. Like I tell my childhood, and I've had people later go, that didn't really happen. I'm like, no, it did. I'm just literally getting up here telling you actual stories about my life and true things, and you guys are laughing. And I'm fine with that. Like I'm not, everyone's like, aren't you kind of bitter that they think it's a joke? I'm like, no, it's funny. I mean, I don't go home and cry. I go on stage again. So it's fun. That's how I got into comedy. I think I got to a certain age where I was writing material I didn't mean to. It was before like social media and stuff was that. I wasn't on it. And I was just writing material. I wrote a lot. And it was funny. And then I thought about drawing comics, like actual comics. Like I love comic books. Love Marvel, all that stuff. So I was like, maybe I can write funny ones, like dark, funny ones. And I didn't want to draw that often. So I started writing stuff and I just say it on stage. I think that's how that's how I got into comedy. Like I said, I think it. Like I wasn't there. I was there. Some of me was there. I don't know. So, and then I started going to open mics and getting booked. And I became a comic. That's the comedy stuff. So I left science because I was having more fun with this stuff. And I could always go back to science. It's not like it's going to go. It's like, oh, science left. We're sorry. The science, it's closed. It's done. Now you're stuck at bars telling jokes to drunk people. That's it. I mean, I could go back. It's there. It's not going anywhere. I still read medical journals and environmental journals and things. I keep up. So I'm not going to be like a drooling idiot if I have to go back to it. Like, I just know jokes now. I'll be okay. So, I'm still talking. I'm from New York. I was born in the city. And I lived in Jersey. And people are like, Jersey? Oh, you're not a New Yorker. I'm like, no. I was closer where I was in Jersey than most people are in Brooklyn or in Queens. I could see the city from my house, or when I had a house, because there were times I did not have a house. I lived in a motel for a couple years. And that was okay. It's not as bad as it sounds. Everyone's like, that sounds really traumatic. I'm like, no, that was fine. I had a roof over my head and a tarp, which is another time I had tarp. I highly recommend I'm doing that again. I don't know why. I'm not really a hands person, but I get on a stool. I don't sit. I do stand up. So it's weird. Like I don't, I'm learning about myself as a person that my hands get real weird when I sit on a stool. I wonder if I do this when I sit at a bar. I'm like chatting. So I lived in Jersey, in North Jersey. And it was cool to see the city. And I could just hop on a bus, and I was always in the city. So I didn't feel, everyone's like, Jersey's so different. I do love South Jersey. I love Cape May and the beach and all that. Central Jersey, I can't recommend it. It kind of gets dead there. That's like the dead part of Jersey. Everyone who lives there is like, everyone commutes. It's like it's like purgatory. I think Central Jersey is like purgatory. Because it's like, oh, are you going to the beach or are you going to the city? You're not like, oh, you're going to Central Jersey. That's so great. Central Jersey's so fun. It's like there's a mall. Like there's a rainforest cafe. That's probably the most exciting part of Central Jersey. Everyone's like, Princeton. I'm like, have you been to Princeton? Einstein's been dead. There's really not much there anymore. Except trust fund kids who are studying very hard. Which I'm more power to them. But they're not going to stay in Princeton. They're going to leave. So how great is it? You know they're not going to stay there forever. I like the Pine Barrens. I like the Jersey Devil. Not the team. I'm not a sports person. I like the cryptid, like the history. Like Jersey shut down in 1909. It was this week, but it was in 1909. So almost, it was, wow, next year. It'd be an anniversary of sorts. In 1909, they shut down like schools, police departments, everything, banks, because they're like, there's this monster that's not killing people, but we're still very afraid because no one thought he killed anybody, and yet people are shooting at nothing, and I'm like, wow, what is that? Like, what was that? It's probably like someone's pet bird that got out, exotic peacock or something, and everyone's freaking out. I'm like, did he kill anyone? You shut down the state? You shut down parts of the state? Some of Philly too, over something that looked a little funny. This is why the world is the way it is. I like the Pine Barrens though, because he's supposed to be from there. They say a witch gave birth to him or something. I'm like, that would be great. I hope that did happen. I hope he's still around. I hope we meet someday, fall in love, and get married and have little weird devil babies. Just want a whole bunch of devil babies. Sounds pretty. That would be. I don't think anyone would be surprised. My mom would be like, I knew she would do that. That's what she did. Of course you fucked the devil. Well, yeah. He's got that neat tail. It was, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just talking about fucking demons, which is fine. Because that's probably 50% of what I think about during the day. Having weird sex with monsters. It's better than what most people are doing. I'm not on Tinder. I'm better than you Tinder people. At least mine. My monsters are interesting. And not going like this all day. Is that what people do? Like they swipe? I don't know. They're not swiping. They're flying around the state causing terror. And not the explosive terror, just like scaring people, shrieking on roofs and stuff. Who doesn't want to hop from roof to roof and scare people? I would do that. I hope I become a ghost someday and I do that. Just scare people. Or hang out and watch things. I don't know. I already kind of look like a ghost, so I'm halfway there. I figure I'm a shoo-in for being a ghost. A popular ghost. I'm going to be a popular one because I have so much practice of looking like this. They should rent me out at haunted houses just in case, like, they're like, oh, these tourists, these ghost hunter tourists, they're not seeing anything. Can you just walk across the window really fast and wail a little bit? Okay, I can do that. Just I won't wear this because it jingles. But maybe this sounds like a chain, didn't Dickens used to write about ghosts that did this? They had the chain, so I think a perk of dating me is that you don't have to have a dog, but it sounds like you have a dog. So if you have a dog you miss because it died, you might think about it. It's like, oh, it's, because that's what I sound like. So it's like a comfort thing. Because when I walk around, I wear this most of the time. I don't wear it to sleep. I've had people go, do you sleep in that? Yeah. Sure. Like I impale myself. These are quite sharp. They're not just ornamental. They're the real deal. I've stabbed people with them by accident when I hug. So my hug, if you hug me, you got to be committed to it because you could get stabbed. You could get collar stabbed if you hug me. So you better really want that hug because I'm good at making sure I don't. But if you're just the right level in your collarbone, most of my friends have been punctured by this. It's like an initiation. That's how you know I'm close to someone. They've been stabbed by my collar at least once. I've dated dudes. I dated a guy, and I got him in the forehead right there. During activities. During activities. And he had to walk around like a bloody thing. And I felt bad, but he didn't seem to care. So I guess it's okay. If he did care, I'd be like, come on, it's not like you didn't know it was there. I've been wearing a collar since I was 13. It didn't have spikes. I had like 3 rings. And I just like the look of it. Everyone's like, it's an S&M thing. And I'm like, it can be now, but it's not my primary. I just like them. I've always liked them. I don't know. I feel like it's like I'm taunting everybody. I'm like, you can't put a leash on this. But, or try, but you got these, so I'm going to put up a fight. I don't know. I like the collars. I have a few of them, but this is my favorite. And when I get nervous, I do that. I'm not nervous, but I do this a lot. And I like just sitting. And when I don't wear it, it's awkward because I just kind of dig at my neck and I'll have like a red spot right here. I'm like, that. Like, where is it? I need it to hold on and feel safe. It's like a perverse teddy bear. It's a security blanket. I'm like Linus from the Peanuts, except kinky. So hold on to it. Feel safe.